I'm Asger. You can ask me anything. Today I'm answering this question: is it truly possible to not give a flying F about other people's opinions and thoughts about you? And we're gonna use social science, evolutionary theory, and logic, and ironically social media. So a few years back, a friend of mine told me that I just don't care what other people think of me. If that's true, why did you tell me that? I mean, if you truly don't care about the opinions of other people, or about other people in general, why would you even bother to tell another human being that you don't care? You will only do that, you will only have that interaction and make that statement if you have some degree of interest in the other person. So just saying the sentence sort of dismantles the value, the logic behind the assertion itself. So if you ever hear someone say this on social media, I just don't care what other people think of me, then why on earth would you record yourself and upload it to social media for other people to see if you truly didn't care about other people's opinions? It's simply not true. Now, if we consult psychology and social science, they will tell us a very interesting fact. Fun fact coming up: the only people who truly don't care about other people's opinions of them are sociopaths. Sociopaths and psychopaths. In some cases, some people that suffer from specific types of autism simply just don't have this capacity. It doesn't mean that they're evil, but it means that they have to learn somehow to care about other people's opinions about them. Okay, so let's look to evolution. So let's just say that in the distant past, a couple of humans existed. Some of them cared about other people, and some of them didn't give a flying F about other people's opinions and thoughts and feelings. So which one of these people would you prefer to mate with? Isn't it fair to assume that over time, in the long term, the people who truly didn't care about other people would have much less viable offspring than the people who did care about others? So the odds are that whatever genetic makeup you have right now, that a part of that genetic makeup is that you at the very least, orient yourself towards other people's opinions and thoughts and feelings. So the next time you hear someone say, I don't care what other people think of me, there are, the way I see it, at least two possibilities, two ways that we can interpret this statement. One is that they really mean something else. I think what they mean is, I am the type of person who's willing to take a risk socially in order to share my true and honest opinion with other people. I mean, that can actually be a very strong quality in a person. The other possibility is, of course, that they're lying, that they have some sort of interest in believing what they're saying themselves, or making you believe that that's actually true. But at the end of the day, we all care about other people. And if we don't, I mean, the odds of us passing on our genes, and thus also the tendency to not care, are just diminished. So it just makes very little sense. There are many different ways that we can care about other people. I do think it's very important that we are willing to risk hurting other people's feelings, just their raw emotions in the moment, if we do so, especially if we do so in an effort to have a very important discussion about a topic that may affect us all. But aspiring to not caring at all what other people think of you, or just telling yourself that you don't, I mean, I just don't believe in that. I mean, I think it's untrue. I'm not saying people who claim that are dishonest. I actually don't think they are. I mean, it's a cultural meme, right? It's a way of signaling something that, but it's just that's the thing, right? There is such a strong element of virtue signaling in this. Not the classical social justice warrior virtue signaling, but actually typically the people who oppose the social justice warrior, or at least this dogma that we should always, be very careful what we say and how we say it, not to offend other people. And I'm 100% on board with that. I think that's a sick way of, perceiving the world and thinking about how dialogues should be. But it's just so ironic, because it's such a strong virtue signaling thing to say, I don't care what other people think of me. It's just not true. Actually, one of my other friends he's probably the person I know that care the least what other people think of him. He's never said anything along those lines. Now, we all have completely different ranges of emotions that prime us to care more or less about other people. That's another, it's just a biological fact, right? And then there's also the culture we grew up in. I mean, in some cultures, we're taught from a very early stage to care deeply about what other people think of us. This can be good, this can be bad, depending on the exact expression of it. But other cultures, they sort of teach something that go a little bit in the other direction. So I'm actually not putting a huge value judgment on this. I'm just saying we all have to deal with the fact, and this is my main point here. No, I don't think it's possible. And I think it's something that we should be aware of, because we need to, at the end of the day, find a healthy balance in this. I think I used this example before, maybe on my podcast, maybe here, I'm not quite sure. But just imagine that someone could put a little device on your head, and that device would just broadcast all the thoughts you had for, let's call it 24 hours, to the entire world. Isn't it plausible that you would have at least a couple thoughts that would deeply offend other people? I mean, probably push people away from you. I think that is the case. So in that sense, we all do some sort of moderation of our thoughts, and especially before we share them with the world. But again, a lot of the control we have over this, the filtering of our thoughts before we share them with the world, before we speak them, I mean, a lot of that control is probably illusory. I'm not saying it's 100% illusory necessarily, but I think we have less control over that than we tend to assume. Those are my thoughts on the matter. And just to sum up, no, I don't think it's possible unless you're a sociopath or suffer from some type of cognitive deficiency or brain damage, or brain damage as I like to call it. But I do think that most people will probably be able to benefit from finding a good balance in these things. And more often than not, especially on social media, when we share things with the world, we do so per definition because we care about their reaction. If we didn't, we wouldn't share anything. We would just be happy sitting here in our backyards and not sharing our thoughts with other people. So I care a lot, actually, about what other people think of me. And so do you. I'm Asger. You can ask me anything, and please do so in the comments below this video. I'm happy to answer any question, no matter how small or big. And some of you have asked, well, what are your domains of expertise? I mean, I hold a Master of Science degree in psychology, an MA in Danish, specialized in communication, so I know a little bit about language, quite a bit about psychology, quite a bit about evolution. But one of the things I'm hoping to demonstrate with this channel is that we can actually talk about most things. And these videos, honestly, I'm not gonna do a ton of research, but I'm not gonna say anything that I don't know anything about. I'm not gonna pretend like I know something I don't know. So feel free to ask your questions. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to this channel. It has tremendous value to me. It doesn't cost you anything. And thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one. Cheers.